that was utterly beautiful. I can't knock anything. Beauty and the Beast got it right. I had absolute confidence that they would be able to bring the wonderful animated feature to life in this live action rendition, and they did that, and some. Belle, Beast, the entire ensemble were fantastic. The filmmakers added this extra layer to the characters, and they were able to make the movie feel so inclusive. Emma Watson is a vision as Belle, both personality and looks. How they were able to empower this character that has been told over time and added this extra layer to her, which was so refreshing, because in these sorts of movies they say she's the one and only vaguely tell you why she is the one. But with Belle, Emma Watson was able to portray the character in a way that showed exactly why she was the one. You know, they have this song, Belle, that is basically saying why she is different. The people in her village are quite close-minded.
Give a pot of baby trout, cause her head's up on some clout. But tonight she's a funny girl, that Belle.
They almost worship Gaston. But with Belle, Emma Watson was able to show her difference and how she sees the world much more openly than the people around her. I think this was something that they did wonderfully in bringing Belle and the Beast together, showing that on the surface, while they do seem polar opposite in personalities, when you peel back the surface to see what's within, they have way more in common than either of them thought. They share that feeling of being different. They've both suffered through losses within their family, which may have repositioned their moral compasses upon that impact to how it may have fared if that didn't happen. And also, both characters are just very intellectually woke. I noticed some parallels between Emma Watson and Belle, one being that they're both bookworms, and also they both came from France and then moving for different reasons, of course, but I thought that was kind of interesting. It's almost like Emma Watson was made for the role, because, you know, you've got that added beauty, and she can sing, she can act. It's like they kind of formed it in such a great way, and she embodies that character so well. I mean, I just couldn't think of anyone else playing her. She did a fantastic job within that role, and I think some people were trepidatious. I wasn't, because I'm a big fan of Emma Watson, so I think I was even going to put blinders on it even if she wasn't great. But after seeing what she could do within the Harry Potter movies and in some of her other work, I had a lot of confidence, and I think she really pulled through. And as I mentioned with the intellectual side, I think that was something that really got me with this movie, that really worked, was how they made this character more empowering, how they made the character not feel like they were trying to push an agenda. And I think this rendition of the character is going to be more of a role model for kids growing up than the original. And some of that, of course, has something to do with her being live action this time, but also it's just what Emma Watson brought to the table. And she did such a great job. I could say it over and over again, but she really did a fantastic job at bringing this character to life, but also adding so much to the character, because I feel like she had a lot of input, and seeing what her views are, I was happy that she was able to bring more to the character. Earlier I mentioned the inclusiveness, and this is something that I love that they expressed. You have LeFou, and he is Gaston's friend, and in this movie they make that character openly gay, and I thought that was, it wasn't a, I think the media over-publicized it. It shouldn't be as big a deal. It should just happen. But I guess it was a headline and they just roll with it. But I think it was really cool that they did that. They didn't overdo it. They did it enough to the point that I think it would go over kids' heads. For me, it was like, this is cool. In the 21st century, someone should be able to express themselves, and I think it was cool that he was able to express himself. I get the character. I mean, Josh Gad is married, but the character itself, I appreciated that they did that. And then you have the villagers and some of the supporting cast and their diverse races, and that is something that I'm so glad that they did, but what makes it even better for me is that they didn't shine a light on it. They just sort of, it happened. And that is so cool to me, because these movies, there's so many movies that shine a light on how diverse they are. And it kind of frustrates me, because I want there to get to a point where we don't have to do that, where it can just happen and we can move on and continue to thrive as a society and move forward instead of backwards. And it just made me really happy that this movie made it a fact within that landscape that these people just were this way and this was like this. I really hope we can get to a point where we can all be equal. I really hope. That's just a huge want. I knew that this was going to be a musical, and I knew that they wouldn't hold back because they had a lot of pressure on their shoulders because they want to portray a story that people will love. But it didn't stop me from being interested into how they would portray these musically infused scenes and how they would set the landscape in a way that felt magical, emotionally involved and immersive, while still being believable. And they did it, it's just wonderful. Beauty and the Beast did a fantastic job at giving their own flavour on the original music, but added to it with new songs, only enhancing my viewing experience and the general magic that weave through the storytelling. But speaking more to the supporting characters, I loved them. They were all fantastic in their roles. You have Gaston, who is... I didn't know how Luke Evans would do it, because he's quite smaller than the original animated Gaston, but he was able to create this force, this tour de force, this power within his performance. He's smooth. At the start, I almost thought they were going to sort of make him a nicer character. The way they set him up, he just seemed a lot less harmful, but as the movie progressed, you understood who this character really was and how he just didn't really care for the nitty-gritty. He didn't want someone to love, he just wanted someone to do stuff for him. Then obviously you have the supporting cast within the castle. I loved it. There were a couple trepidatious things before I watched this movie with the... how they were going to be able to make the items seem legitimate. And they did it. They really did it. And I didn't realize how well they were going to be able to do it until I watched the movie and I was like, it's all coming to life. And it was so good. I mean, that dinner scene, fantastic. Really fantastic. And how they were able to bring emotion to these characters who are literally clocks and candles and pianos. I love how they were able to make this movie look so beautiful and still feel realistic within this world they create. I mean, that sweeping shot of Belle in the meadows, beautiful, beautiful. It was a fantastic shot, and there was many of those sorts of shots that really blew me away. I mean, the scene whenever you have Belle and Beast staring over this wintry area, and the way they were able to make that scene just feel like you're entering the Beast's mind, and how whenever he saw that, it meant something to him, and it kind of made you feel that. Overall, I think this is going to be a movie that I go back to over time and get more and more out of. I think that this is a magical, romantic, empowering, inclusive beauty to have experienced. So if you've seen Beauty and the Beast, tell me what you thought of it in the comment section below. What did you think of my review? Tell me in the comment section below. Hit the like button, tells me you enjoyed it, and subscribe because it makes you feel good and it makes me want to do more videos. So hopefully you enjoyed my review of Beauty and the Beast, and I'll see you later, movie fans.